Welcome to Parev TV. Last time I got on this video in the direct recording, I stressed the existence or the history or the importance of two corridors in the Caucasus that are getting attention by world leaders as the concerned parties are moving ahead to resolving the Karabagh conflict. And besides the warring parties, Armenia and Azerbaijan, the two main forces are Russia and Turkey, no matter how we slice it in the region. And they have deep interests in the region. Turkey has been super adventurous lately in Syria, in Cyprus, in Greece, Libya, Mediterranean, and lately in the Caucasus. There is a sense that nobody wants to bother with Turkey at this time of the pandemic and or ever. They don't want to touch Turkey. They don't want to bother with Turkey. They don't want to fight with Turkey. And Turkey is taking advantage of the situation. However, Turkey is also paying a price for being adventurous. And I personally think, and many analysts say the same thing, the price Turkey is paying is creating a wedge between itself and the European NATO allies, especially America. And I think Russia is trying to do that beautifully in separating Turkey from American camp, from NATO camp, and making sure that it is isolated. The two corridors that I have been talking about or mentioned are transport corridors. One that links Turkey to Nakhichevan, and then through the corridor which lies in Armenia, there's a passageway to Azerbaijan proper into the very, very far Central Asia. And this is a passage that Turkey has always wanted, and this is something that is important for Turkish policy, expansionist policy. The other corridor is the better known Lachin corridor that was the main corridor, also a transport corridor between Armenia and Karabakh. And these two corridors, it's very, very important to understand, are now supervised or manned or taken care of by Russian peacekeepers. And there are no Turkish peacekeepers. That's a major, major issue. Turkey wants to put itself into the picture saying, I'm also there. And Russia says, hello, stay away from my backyard. There's no room for you. There's no room for us. Armenians don't care for you. Armenians don't trust you. So you better not make the situation more volatile. So just stay out of the neighborhood. Once again, we come back to the politics, and I call it Politics 101. And we are reminded that Russia gets what Russia wants. There's no two ways about it. And the sooner or later, the smaller states, republic, whether it's Georgia, whether it's Azerbaijan, whether it's Armenia, the sooner we understand that to exist in the area means to do what Mama Russia wants. Without Mama Russia happy, nobody's going to be happy. It is not easy and maybe impossible to dismantle 70 years of communism, Russian influence in the region. We know what happens when anyone in the region goes against Mama Russia, flirts with the West, or moves towards the Western camp. Basically, look at Georgia, look at the map of Georgia, look at South Ossetia, and look at Abkhazia, and you will get a very quick answer to what I'm trying to tell you. We have reminded ourselves during the past 44-day war not to trust outsiders, intervention, and support. So this has been going over the centuries, maybe millenniums. Many times we're at war expecting one country to help us out and nobody would come to us. Nobody cares about us. Maybe one of the main lessons revised is that we cannot depend on outside force to help us. Nobody is willing to fight for Armenia, and everyone is willing to use Armenia. Every nation has its own agenda and its own interest. The sooner we learn this, which I call Politics 101, the better it is for all of us. Today, 2 weeks after the Russian brokered ceasefire, our energies tend to focus on what went wrong. This is not the time to blame each other or fight a blame game. We are now faced with serious challenges, and I think, as many of you think, nowadays, especially as the winter is getting close, we are faced with thousands of refugees from Karabakh who are stranded in the capital of Armenia, Yerevan. We are faced with hundreds, maybe thousands people who have been injured during the war, soldiers that need to be taken care of, the economy that needs to be revived. We have to take care of the negotiations that are so seriously up and coming these days. And we are also demanding in the streets of Yerevan the resignation of the Prime Minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, amidst the pandemic. The resignation of Nikol Pashinyan is a very hot topic. We all know this is getting a lot of attention, and as we all know, we keep hearing each and every day, many of the ministers who served the country, and some really did a very good job, have been sacked, as they call it, sacked or fired. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of Treasury, the Minister of War, and many others. Each and every morning we wake up to new realities on the ground. Ministers and important deputies are being sacked. We all know there is no easy way out of this, and we also know, or should know, there is only one item on the agenda. Armenia is now faced with one item, and that is working together to get Armenia back on track. There is nothing else that should concern us. There's so much being said, so much being written, but the main concern we have is how to get Armenia back on track, and what are we doing towards that? According to a respected observer, the parties opposing Pashinyan in the streets of Yerevan have not even done what Pashinyan did. They have yet to recognize having made any kind of a mistake, minor or major. The parties opposing Pashinyan were the ones who never raised a question about the path that would inevitably lead to war, and opposition that applauded when Pashinyan rejected the compromise solution offered by Lavrov that could have left us in a better shape than we are now, and done so without all the losses before the war and a short time into it. The thought of seeing the corrupt oligarchs back in power scares the daylight out of all of us. We all agree that we have signed a bad deal, but we also should agree that we have avoided tragedy. War is not an easy thing to take. Not all is lost, and there is much work to be done in the international and in the diplomatic arena. On Wednesday, for example, just 2 days ago, the French Senate recognized or tried to recognize the independence of Karabagh. We're not sure about the wording, but I know there's a lot of work taking place in the French Senate. We are celebrating a very special holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. As we count our blessing, we are all reminded of the cold weather that is coming. We all feel the cold in New Jersey, New York, and we know it's coming in Karabakh too, in Armenia too. Our thoughts are with so many people who are refugees, who will need warm homes, warm clothing, food, and other basic needs to survive. There are many Armenian organizations in the diaspora that have begun the work of lending support to the needy, to help the uprooted families who face an uncertain future. This help must be given with no delay. This is a very important mission. There are nor will there be any quick solutions we face as we greet the future. Armenians suffered a terrible defeat on the battlefield. Now let's work hard to win the peace. I'd like to wish all our viewers and listeners a very happy Thanksgiving, and let us pledge. There is one thing besides praying for Armenia. Let us pledge to stand strong with Armenia and bring Armenia back on track again. Thank you and happy Thanksgiving.